All right, so many months back, I made a video about my geographical sports conflict with the fact that the Raiders are in Vegas, and Bay Area people, we're not really liking Vegas in general, especially now with the fact that the A's, we're flirting with the idea of moving there. So I wanted to talk about kind of the ones I'm aware of, the geographical sports conflicts for the more mainstream teams, and it's definitely really interesting. So the first one I want to look at is the San Diego and LA conflict, because San Diego, at one point had three teams, the Clippers, Padres, and Chargers. Now, the Clippers and Chargers are now in LA, and Clippers is more or less of an issue because, I'm guessing this generation doesn't really know much about the San Diego Clippers as much as the Chargers, because the Chargers moved there like 4 years ago, so it's much more recent. But the issue is San Diego and LA, baseball-wise, have a pretty decent rivalry, Last year, met in the playoffs. Like, they don't like each other. But the problem is, if you're a Charger fan in LA still, you have to root for an LA team. You have to say, go LA, when in reality, you really just mean go LA Chargers, not go LA Dodgers and all the other teams. And it's the same way with the Clippers, too. I'm not totally aware of how many fans in San Diego stuck with the Chargers, but I had to guess a decent amount because, although they really didn't have all too much success in their time there, they were a popular team and they had a great fan base, and it sucks they don't play there anymore. I feel for their fans, although I dislike the Chargers. I feel for them. Now you're a Padre fan and you hate the Dodgers, but you're a Charger fan and you just have to root for LA in that football sense. And now another one is St. Louis with the Rams as well. So this is another LA conflict. LA loves starting conflicts because they've taken teams over the years. St. Louis and LA have a conflict because obviously the Rams moved back to LA like 5 years ago, and obviously there's a conflict there because you're rooting for LA, and I can't imagine that any St. Louis Cardinal fans are too fond of the Dodgers. And it's funny because they're going to be playing each other in the playoffs now. So that's makes things really interesting. The Cardinals and the Dodgers will be a good matchup. But, you're a LA Rams fan in St. Louis, and I can imagine some people, probably not too many, but I'm guessing some people stuck with the St. Louis Rams even when they moved back to Los Angeles. And then you're a Cardinals fan, so you have to root for LA, but you're also rooting against them. It's like, in a perfect world, for me, I would be able to say I'm an Oakland sports fan. In a perfect world, and it used to be that way. I could say I'm an Oakland sports fan because 3 out of the 4 teams I like played in Oakland, and now I can't. Well, I guess I can, but people will ask me, what does that exactly mean by Oakland sports fan? And that leads me to my next conflict, which I talked about months back: Oakland and Las Vegas, or the Bay Area more specifically, because I love the Raiders. I love them, and they're still the Oakland Raiders to me. I know they play in Las Vegas, but the issue is I'm a Sharks fan, and the Sharks and Golden Knights, big rivalry, hated rivalry. And I hate the Knights, but I'm rooting for Las Vegas football and rooting against Las Vegas hockey. And it's a little weird, I'm not going to lie. And kind of an honorable mention, this one isn't super big, but like, I guess, because it doesn't really involve relocation in particular, but if you're like a fan in Pittsburgh of basketball, right, and you're just naturally going to like the Philadelphia 76ers, you probably despise of 3 Philadelphia teams and you like one. It's like unsatisfying and also hard for you because you have to be like, oh, I hate Philly, but I like the Sixers. It's just because that's why I think, like, in a perfect scenario, if there's 2 markets close by, like for example Oakland and SF, you put a team in the neutral site. So that's why I think the Sharks are perfect, because they're in San Jose, they're in neither of them. But that would never happen really with every market, because for example, if Chicago and the White Sox and the Cubs, they share that market, but I guess one of them played in the south, and I guess the Chicago Bears played in the south side, that might have a more leaning to White Sox fans. But if they put them in Springfield, Illinois, it wouldn't. So it's just a crazy scenario that could have played out. But that's kind of like the conflicts I've thought about. San Diego and LA is like the most prominent in my opinion, because I think, you know, San Diego fans obviously hate LA and they kind of stole their team. And now I know if you unconditionally support your team, which I think is the most rational, you're in a bind. So yeah, anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have a conflict with your geography, because it kind of sucks, but it's the way it is. So I'll see you guys later, and yeah, see you later.